Going into this game, so some important headlines. Demarcus Lawrence out 6 to 8 weeks, broken foot. Randy Gregory may miss this game due to COVID. Justin Herbert had a great game against Washington, 300 yards. He did have a pick, had a touchdown, but you're going against one of the better defenses in the league, so I think it was a pretty successful day. La'el Collins out 5 games on a suspension. They do get Zach Martin back off the COVID list as well. If you're the Cowboys, their offensive line gets a little bit more fortified. Crazy stat. I just want to throw out a crazy stat, the one I was doing my research here. Did you know the Cowboys have not won a game since 2018 in which they haven't scored 30 points? So they have to score 30 points to win. That is the only way they win football games. Can they hit that number against the Chargers?
I think they can hit 30 points in any game they choose at this point during the season. So after the 28-3 Falcons loss, it basically just concluded that the next 4 years of Falcons football were basically the same. It was Matt Ryan is going to throw 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Both teams are going to score in the 30s. You can flip a coin on who's going to win when it's one of these like 30-30 like shootout games. You can flip a coin on who's going to win. They're going to finish 8-8. I think over 3 years after the Super Bowl they lost, the Falcons were 24-24, while having a similar type thing where they didn't win a game by scoring less than 30 points. The Cowboys are the new Falcons. The Cowboys are we're going to go 8-8 just by scoring more points than everyone else and not playing defense. And so both teams are going to score in the 30s. I don't know what the over under is right now, but I would bet the over no matter what on this game. And I think that they can get some yards against a weaker Chargers secondary. And that's the part that concerns me, is that the Chargers have tried to do their best. They drafted Asante Samuel Jr. this last year to try and address that situation and plugging it with like a Chris Harris every now and then. But I think that Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb could both again have over 100 yards like they did against the Buccaneers. And this game could end up being both teams over in the 30s.
Yeah, so the over-under is 55, so I could very well see that one being over. I mean, let's say the Chargers are able to put up, I imagine they put up over 30, because I don't see anyone on this Cowboys defense being able to stop what they do offensively. They didn't generate any pass rush last week. They only had 3 quarterback hits on Brady, 0 sacks. I know it's Brady, quick release, everything that we know of him over the years. But even with that said, no pass rush last week and no Demarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory this week. How are they even going to get to Justin Herbert? Not to mention the Chargers, their offensive line in their first kind of game together, they seem to mesh pretty well. They kept Herbert pretty clean, 2 sacks allowed against that fearsome Washington front 7. So I think that's a positive sign for them. The biggest things I think for the Chargers is they were pretty gashed against the run game against Washington. Antonio Gibson did a great job on them. Can the Cowboys get Zeke involved? Can the Cowboys be balanced? Because if they're able to do that, I give them a little bit more chance in this game. Right now, I'm picking the Chargers. I am going with LA to win this game. But if the Cowboys can be a little bit more balanced this week, as opposed to just throwing 60 times with Dak like last week, I think that that's more so their path to victory. Especially too, because you mentioned it, the Chargers secondary is kind of pieced together, but I think that they're a lot better than what the secondary was for the Bucs last week. Derwin James out there certainly is a problem, and he will be very involved in coverage there to kind of take away from that prolific Cowboys passing game.
My pick for the week is the Dallas Cowboys.
Look at
I like
you with
Dallas
props.
to win. Look at me preparing props like I didn't have that set up before the game. Look who did the research there. So yes, I like the Cowboys to win this week. At the bare minimum, they'll cover the 4-point spread. This is one of those that's going to probably come down to the wire. Both teams in the 30s. You can flip a coin on this one. And I like my chances with the Dallas Cowboys.